Howdy y'all, normally I would start off with a detailed breakdown of all of my experience in real life with the experiences being replicated to the game, but, and this may shock you, I have never earthbended before in my life. I know. I haven't even killed 2 birds with 1 stone before, so I definitely haven't molded a perfect cube from the ground below me to throw at one of my arch nemeses. Today we are looking at rumblevr, which is an attempt by Buckethead Entertainment to bring the ground-shaking world of earthbending to your headset. Currently it is available as an early access game on Steam for $19.99 USD. The gameplay is heavily focused on training, PvP multiplayer, and hosted multiplayer rooms, so mechanics here are really key. The game has a high skill floor as well as a high skill ceiling. It is difficult to get the hang of at the onset, and to be honest, you should know that before buying. In my opinion, this game is the beginning of something great for VR esports and competition. You could practice this game for 30 to 40 hours and still have tons of things to learn. Not only that, but I think there's a huge meta possibility for developing types of attack plans and combos, but that doesn't mean that every person with a headset should own it. So, let's get into it. Rumble determines the moves you execute not by the buttons pressed on your controller, but instead entirely by a series of movements and the precise positioning of your tracked controllers. For instance, if you want to shoot a direct shot of dirt at your opponent, you pull your fist close to your hips, and then immediately afterwards you throw your right fist straight out with the top of your hand facing to the right, and you pull your left fist near your belly button with the top of your fist facing to the front. I took the trouble to explain that line by line because each part of that movement is necessary for execution. If you pull your left into your belly button but the top of your fist is facing up, then no dice. If you push your right into the ground when it should be perfectly straight out, then also no dice. Each type of move, of which there are 15 at the time of this video, is given to you gradually over time as you increase your belt ranking in multiplayer. You start out with a direct shot mentioned previously, a barrier block for defense that you pull from the ground, and a type of force push to launch things forward away from you. The only way to rank up is to play against competitors in PvP matches. The matches are 2 out of 3 rounds, with the winner always getting more experience points than the loser to continue to grow their repertoire of moves. Although this does make it difficult for new players to get access to all the moves they desire, the devs have likely taken this route as a way to ensure that players don't get overwhelmed with moves, as even having the 6 options that I currently have available can cause me to forget other moves in the heat of battle. A battle starts you and your opponent on actually really sweet moving platforms of rock that position y'all directly across from each other in a large circular platform with no railings. Movement around is done via stick movement, and by default it is very slow. You're able to sprint in a single direction by moving your arms up and down swiftly in a running motion, but this can only be done in a single stick direction. If you deviate your stick from the starting point, the movement speed will return to the default. You're given a health bar that decreases as you get hit by different objects, with each object having a different level of damage that it does. For instance, if you get hit with a force-pushed barrier block, it does more damage than the direct dirt shot that I've talked about previously. Additionally, if you fall off the ledge of the platform at any time or any level of health, then you lose that round. Hey, did you know that I host monthly VR tournaments with payouts? Now you do. Lots of great games, lots of great community members in the Squashy Discord. I really suggest that you check it out. Links in the doobly-doo. Let's get back to the video, yeah? The first time you boot in, you set up your arm length and body height. Once you complete that, it starts you out in the main hub world that features a large area to practice moves, either solo or against an earthbending robot, and the physical computers that allow you to select options such as server location, private and public room creation, and PvP matchmaking. Before you're allowed to enter PvP matches, you will be required to learn and perform the 3 basic moves mentioned earlier a set number of times, as well as defeat Howard, the earthbending practice robot, in the sparring match. In order to learn these moves, the game has a fairly unique approach to training you in all things earthbending. On a computer, you select the move you are trying to learn, step into the tutorial circle, and then you follow along with the hand prompt as it takes you through the move. Do it correctly and it'll produce the desired result. Otherwise, you will hear a beep of disapproval. Though the tutorial is decently done, showing the moves on a screen similar to how YouTuber rumblevr displayed the moves on his channel, or how IB Cricket animates their tutorial, would be advantageous to less diehard players. I do want to mention that the hub world itself is an absolute beauty. The computers you use to select items and settings are all tactile items that feel and look incredible. Take a look here at how I made changes for my preferences and started the matchmaking process. Sensationally done. The only thing left to cover is the sandbox version of multiplayer that allows you to play with more than a single person at a time. At the moment of this recording, these sandbox play sessions do not count towards your experience points earned, but instead are there for public and private lobbies. You can create these lobbies by setting the world to allow anything, or by requiring it to be a particular type of sandbox. Think minigame sandbox versus like a chill out and practice sandbox. The sandbox is just as well made and beautiful as the hub world itself, with a platform to play pretend matches on, areas to mess with your newfound skills, or play a game of earthbending basketball. One of the only big things missing at the moment, however, is voice communication. The game does not have voice communication as of this moment, so whether you are playing PvP or hosting a sandbox room, you won't be able to talk to people through in-game communication. So, what do I think? This game is a competitive goldmine for VR, and I think it has a long future ahead of it. In addition to this, it is now in the early access period, and will likely raise the price later down the road after a year plus of development. I'll be interested to see how the movement evolves, because at base, it feels a little slow, but I think the slow movement makes for high risk, high reward situations that allow mind games and the precise execution of combat to really make a difference here. This is kind of similar to fighting games from pancake games like Smash Melee and Street Fighter 4 versus their predecessors that are faster, which some say are less competitive, but have a lower skill floor. If you just want to hop into a game and be able to play it immediately without much practice, then right now this is not the game for you and you should save your money. But if you're a competitive person, if you're someone who wants to learn and grow in honestly a really cool, I'll say, sport within VR, this is a fantastic buy for you. Me personally, I'm very excited for the future of this game. I will be leveling up on my weekly YouTube streams and watching the competitive scene very closely as it evolves. Let me know your thoughts on earthbending in VR, and if you can help me by liking the video, if you like the content, I would be much appreciative. Bye all. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate your time and viewership. If you would like to join the community, I host monthly VR tournaments and community nights in my Discord. I would love for you to stop by, say hi, and get involved. On top of that, we are always talking about new news and events in social and casual sport VR. I look forward to seeing you around.